So, are there any common features or characteristic features about how they are lying? Not only that they are doing this. Yeah, quite some. They have some popular subjects. One really bizarre thing is this habit of lying about completely meaningless things. In no way sensational, because otherwise you might expect that they are lying to attract the attention of other people right there in this very moment, or it might be wishing to appear as an interesting or adventurous or strong or intelligent person. Or it might be hoping to gain something more material, draw some profit from lying. But actually lying about everyday things, about what they had for dinner, or that they had this plan that they would make this particular dish, but I was out of rice, so I decided upon making this other one instead. And in some cases, you know that this is not true. For some reason, you might perhaps know that this guy wasn't even at home at this occasion. So why is he telling us this? I'm sad to say I have no answer to this question. And then there are, on the other hand, these extremes, and usually with some kind of reservation. And one of them is making money. And then it's far beyond any reasonable limits, considering that you might know that this guy works in some storehouse or factory, small factory, or is an uneducated construction worker. And he mentions amounts perhaps twice as much as what you would normally earn. And then some reservation, but you know, have been working some extra hours this month. Yeah, actually 100% extra, at least. Or, yeah, but this indeed was off record. Black money, no, not tax. Still not likely. Or something like, but needed to add some more above normal, because this occurred this winter when it was so damn cold. And according to law, we are not allowed to work if it's below 20 colder than 20 minutes. No, yeah, I get it. Still, that much, really. And then there is drinking. Not that they are alcoholics, they are not. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being an alcoholic or with being a storyteller. Just to mention this. And even here, it's so far beyond what's physically possible. When you start counting what person with fairly high tolerance, even taking into consideration that this storyteller is really huge, quite a few of them actually seem to be. Not that there's anything wrong whatsoever with being huge, that's not my point. But they do, many of them have a specific kind of hugeness, very much focused on the belly. Anyway, they might how they had this box of 6 bottles of heavy liquors, and that night I was seeing this guy, and on the way to his home emptied the first one, and I really felt no effect from this at all. And then we relaxed his place for some time, and we drank one each of these. And on our way to town, was a bit of walking, and we had another one as we walked. And while standing there in the queue to the pub, I had the last one in my inner pocket, and quite some queue, but I was drinking rather fast, so I wouldn't need to smuggle it inside. And then as we came into the pub, that one really hit me in my head, and fuck man, I got so completely loaded after drinking only 4 bottles, 3 liters of hard liquor. Really, how can anyone drink that much? Well, and then there's some explanation. This medication, it makes me I won't get affected really, or I have a natural high tolerance, whatever. Then of course there are those sexual braveries, and perhaps this person is married, or perhaps not. It's not really relevant, but he may have stories about places where they have done things, or how long they have been going on, or how many times a day. And also on his alternative acquaintances, and maybe like, yeah, you know, it was my wife's birthday this Saturday, and she had this little get-together, nothing exceptional, only the close relatives. And when her mother and sister were standing in the kitchen, we got this opportunity, so we went into this wardrobe or into the bathroom or whatever, and managed to chew ourselves through 6 fast ones, something, and then we had dinner, and we ate some, we drank some, and then while my sister were out dealing with something, getting the kids to bed or something, her sister came up, and you've seen her, have you? No. Boy, she's hot. She's real hot. And she got up close to me, and I said, no, I would not cheat upon her. But you know, I've always had this crush on you, you know. And sometimes this has struck my mind, why on earth didn't I pick her sister instead? But she said that, you know, you're my sister, your wife, she wouldn't mind, because we've talked about this, and as far as she's concerned, she sees no problem sharing you with others, and you know about your manhood and your lusts and drives that you might not always be able to satisfy properly. And yeah, putting it that way, why not? And then will be all this spectacular stuff about where and how and for how long and how many times, and these positions, physical positions, whatever. And then after that might have been some opportunity with his wife's mother too. You should not be surprised, at least if there was something in that way. Another of these things is external temperature, extreme weathers. When people are comparing how cold this winter is, and you know, when I got up this morning, it was 26 below. Fuck yeah, it's a cold place. It's like a deep groove, and it's always very cold in the winter. Yeah, imagine. And the next one says, I actually had 27, but you may, you can't always rely upon technology. This storyteller, you may always expect him to have had 1 or 2 or more degrees below everyone else. And in my case, I had 35 below. I'm talking about Celsius now. 35. This has not been reported since in this part of the country since the late 19th century. Yeah, but it was 1 hour earlier than you said you took your measurements at 5:30, and this was about 3:30 in the morning, before temperature turning. Yeah, right. Yeah, I know it's always a bit towards cold in those small hours. So how about that thing? It hasn't been measured since late 19th century. Well, you may have forgotten by that. And also, there may be some other physical extremes, but their abilities as sportsmen or something. Describe how, when I was young, I was rather promising, they say, and then also throwing a spear, and it's twice as long as the world record. And everyone starts laughing, obviously not true. And they are laughing, maybe this wasn't so remarkable after all. Then it specifies, this was thrown with left hand. And then there is another thing which seems to be a chapter of its own, short one.